Hey, man, I'm on vacation, man. And that accent is deceptive because I'm actually not going to the Caribbean. Sorry, mom. I'm actually in Japan. I'm probably hiking Mount Fuji or scuba diving or wandering through the LGBT district in Japan right now. But I thought since I'm going to be gone for like a couple of weeks, I shouldn't just like leave you guys high and dry. I'll use this opportunity to catch up on my emails. And so what I'm going to do is I've chosen a couple of emails, at least one for today. They're not going to be short. I thought if I edit them, then it'll rob you guys of opportunities to like actually identify with things that people are saying. Because hey, we go through a lot of the same experiences, and I thought I'll just read it all the way through. So settle down and enjoy. Here's the first email. It is from D, who is a male, and he says, "Hey Alex, hey." I've emailed you before, and I want to start by saying your videos, information, and delivery have played a vital role in my self-acceptance, although this is a constant work in progress. Well, I'm so happy to hear that my videos have helped you. I am hoping you could shed some light on what I'm going through. I'll give it a try. Long story short, FYI, this is not a short story. Long story short, I am a 28-year-old male in a long-term heterosexual relationship with my 26-year-old girlfriend. My whole life, I was attracted to exclusively to women. I dated only women, fantasized about women, watched straight porn, etc. I have no memories of having crushes on boys or even honestly finding the boys in school attractive. In high school, I found gay bi porn, wasn't repulsed by it, and found myself actually enjoying it. Since then, I have watched gay porn, straight porn, and bi porn. It wasn't until college that I ever saw a man outside of porn that I thought was good looking. Even now, I think for me, it's more about the body than the person. If that makes sense. I was in the gym shower rinsing off after working out, and there was a really good looking dude doing the same. Again, this was the first time I had ever seen a guy in real life and thought, wow. Still, I didn't think much of it. It was a naked, jacked dude. Of course, there would be some attraction. From then on, I still rarely ever looked at men outside of porn. I started dating a girl my freshman year of college, and we stayed together for 2.5 years. I was very attracted to her physically and emotionally. It was the first time I had ever been in love, so when we broke up, I was heartbroken. Oh, sorry to hear that. I couldn't imagine being with anyone else. So dramatic. Haha. But it was true. I continued to watch gay, straight, and bi porn, and after the breakup, I decided to experiment with guys on campus. After I started to get over the breakup, I also began hooking up with other women. The experiences were always fun, sometimes awkward, but I have always enjoyed being with both men and women. I then met my current girlfriend, and life for us has been really great. That's awesome. We have a ton of fun together, love each other, and our sex life is solid. Excellent. Last year, we began talking about marriage, and while one part of me was incredibly excited, another part of me knew I needed to do some real soul searching and figure out my sexuality and include her in my past. That's a great decision. After weeks of reading, I discovered that bisexuality fit me very well. While I have never had a desire to pursue romantic relationships with men, I have found them to be very sexually attractive. With women, I desire deep emotional bonds, relationships, and also find them very sexually attractive. I came out to my girlfriend as bisexual in December, congratulations, and she has been very supportive and loving. That's awesome. I guess my problem is that I went from being very excited about figuring out myself and understanding this identity to constantly questioning myself, not accepting myself, trusting my attractions, and find myself analyzing every human being I encounter like, do you think that she's attractive? You thought that he was. Why didn't you think that she was? Are you gay? This sounds crazy to even type, but every time I hear a story or go on Reddit, and every time I I hear a story or go on Reddit and see that a man or woman has left their hetero relationship because they're gay, I freak out. Like, what if that's me? What if I'm in denial? What I consciously know is that I love my girlfriend. I am sexually attracted to her. I've always enjoyed sex with women and have never desired more than a quick encounter with a dude. But Why can't I get over this and trust myself? I just want to get back to the peaceful place I was with my girlfriend before all this anxiety kicked in. I know this is a long email and that I may be asking a lot, but with your experience, I thought you may be able to shed some light on this, offer some insights or hope. Well, I will try. I will try, and I have to say, I'll start off by saying this. Dude, hashtag relatable. Really relatable. Honestly, I'm a person who is basically how you describe. I am sexually and romantically attracted to women. I am essentially only sexually attracted to dudes. And hey, the thing you talk about like after marriage and going, oh man, what if it turns out like I'm with them for like 7 years and then suddenly I'm like, oh my God, I want to be with guys. Okay, first of all, what you're going through is natural. Like, this is just one of the stages of bisexuality. I have the video about 5 stages of bisexuality. And this is kind of one of the initial stages. You're still in the doubt stage. So that's all good. That's all natural. That's part of it. But the other part of it is this. So last week, I released a book called How to Win the Love Game. And in it, I talk about how dopamine and oxytocin plays into love. And I hate to break this to you, but in 7 years, you are probably going to have the thing that you are afraid that might happen, which is in 7 years, you might actually, start thinking about dudes and wanting to be with dudes and thinking maybe you made a mistake with being in a relationship and all that stuff. And I'm sorry to say that, but it's probably true, but it's not because you're bisexual. I mean, you wanting to be with dudes is because you're bisexual. But you having that desire is not bisexually related at all. That's called being a human being. Why? As I mentioned in last week's video, we all have a dopamine reward system in our brain. So initially we see something that we're drawn to and we go after it and we want to be with that person because there's so much dopamine being released in our brain because of that person that we always want to be around that person. But we have evolved in such a way that we should have kids and then leave the person we had kids with after a certain time period, after we've been able to raise them to the point where they could survive, and then we want to be with someone else and do the same thing. That's what evolution has done to us. It's that, call it screwing us up, call it fixing it so we can survive as a species, call it whatever you want, but that's how it works for human beings. So after 7 years, you're probably going to not be as attracted to your then wife as you are right now. And that's okay. Now, does that mean that you will be gay because odds are you will have a strong desire to be with someone of, a gender different than your spouse? No, you're still the same person you have always been. It's just that your dopamine receptors are craving something, like they're craving a boost. They're craving something new and original from what you've been experiencing for the past 7 years. And what is the most original thing compared to what you've been experiencing? It would be those other genitals. Those other things that you haven't experienced in at that point, it would be 8, 9 years? That's what you're going to desire. You can just schedule that in, but that doesn't mean they're gay. And all those people on Reddit that say, oh yes, I was in a marriage and I've been married for many years, then suddenly I realized, oh my God, I'm gay. Yeah, take that with a grain of salt. And I'm positive that many of you guys who are watching this video, you're saying, yeah, that was me. Yeah, if you actually had romantic feelings for your wife and you had sexual feelings for your wife, you don't suddenly become gay. That's not the way it works. You were bisexual. You were bisexual when you married her. You were bisexual when you decided you want to break up there for a man. And you're bisexual if you decide to stay with that man, even if you decide to make a long-term relationship with them. You don't become gay. You're either homosexual or you're bisexual. And if you have feelings for more than one gender, you will always be bisexual because your brain is wired in such a way to always have those feelings. So D, that is your answer. The truth is that you can kind of schedule in that sort of feeling, but when it happens, understand it's not because you're bisexual. It's not because you can't commit. It's not because of any of those things. It's simply because your dopamine receptors in your brain have downregulated to such an extent that now you're craving something new. If you want to kind of head this off at the pass, here's some advice, and it's going to be self-serving advice. Get my book. Get my book. It's a $4 investment for something that will probably transform your life and transform your relationship. In the book, I talk about things you can do to keep that dopamine flowing with your current partner, because that's what you want. You don't actually want to be with a guy per se. What you want is more dopamine to replace the dopamine that you've lost in a relationship. Because if your relationship is your primary source of dopamine, like we all crave dopamine in a lot of different ways. If your relationship is your prime source of dopamine, then you're going to go out, you're going to want something to replace it. It could be a dude, or it could be, you coming up with something really interesting to do with your spouse that spikes your dopamine. Or it could be a number of other things. The point is, it doesn't have to be you cheating. It doesn't have to be you leaving. It can be anything. Invest in the book. It's $4. You won't regret it. And I promise you, you'll get so much from it, especially as a bisexual in your position. Because the reason why I wrote it is because I'm a bisexual in your position. And I had the exact same feelings that you had, which was, oh my God, what happens if I'm in a long-term relationship and suddenly I start craving being with a dude? What do I do? What do I do? That is exactly the reason why I explored the thoughts to begin with. And that is the reason why I wrote the book. So there you go. That's my answer. I hope that was helpful. And I hope all you who were listening got something from that as well. If you'd like to support the channel, you can check out the book I was talking about, How to Win the Love Game. You can also check out my t-shirts on Amazon, my lapel pins. You can check out actually my bisexual pop sockets all on Amazon, as well as my MMF bisexual romances. So while I continue to enjoy my vacation, I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and that if you have, perhaps you can give it a like, perhaps you can subscribe. I do videos on a regular basis. I try to do a video every Sunday, even when I'm on vacation. But if you would like to know when a new video comes out, you probably also have to click on the subscribe button and the bell. And by doing that, you'll be telling YouTube that you'd like to know when a new video comes out. And until the next video, stay cooler, my bisexual friends. Stay cooler. Bye.